Hi everyone, it's your train master, Christopher Kovacs. This video is inspired by the annual State of the Channel addresses, or end-of-year reviews that some content creators usually put out. But specifically, I was inspired by Urinating Tree to make this style of video. Yes folks, there's more to me than just trains. I do enjoy sports every once in a while. By the way, go Bills! As I regale you about my activity for this past year, please enjoy some footage I shot at the Georgia State Railroad Museum in Savannah back in September. Before I get into my thoughts on this year, I want to thank each and every one of you who has subscribed to my channel. Your support is always appreciated, and I'm glad to have you along for the ride. As you might recall, I started the year off with the hopes of seeing Canadian Pacific 2816 on her big transcontinental tour. However, work commitments and getting settled into a new role within my squadron pretty much put the kibosh on any plans I had. Thankfully, the Rapido model of 2816 that I've had on pre-order for 2 years was well worth the wait. The model has blown me away, and it's become one of my favorites to run at the Associated Model Railroads of Columbia. Hopefully, there's another tour with the real 2816 in the near future, as I'd love to see her for myself. To make up for missing out on 2816, I decided to look for other events to go to. These events ended up being the Spencer Shops Train Show, the Tweety Railroad Heritage Weekend, and Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum's Somerville Steam Special. All three of these events had their ups and downs, but overall, I had a great time this year. The TVRM trip was fun because of the fact it was a bros trip with my friend Scott from Cleveland, Ohio. We've been friends for almost 20 years at this point, and he's like a brother to me. If there's ever an opportunity to take a trip together, we always try to take advantage of it. The Tweety Railroad trip was interesting as it was my first time visiting the area, and I fell in love with the scenic beauty of the mountains of western North Carolina. For an amusement park railroad, they put on a great show. Although the railroad and the park canceled their popular ghost train event after the devastation of Hurricane Helene, they seemed to recover relatively quickly. They reopened for a Tweety Christmas on November 29th, and they'll reopen for the 2025 season on April 5th. I'll definitely make it a point to visit the railroad again soon, especially for Railroad Heritage Weekend. There was a slight downside to this year's activities as far as filming equipment was concerned. My Canon video camera had a minor issue that prevented me filming with it after the Spencer Shops Train Show. The screw thread that allows the camera to be fastened to the tripod became stripped after about 15 years of use. Therefore, I was no longer able to have a standard camera. Thankfully, I had my iPhone 15 with me, and it became my main camera for the remainder of the year. I do have plans to upgrade cameras in the very near future, hopefully before the first big event of 2025. As far as what I do outside of YouTube and work, I'm a dedicated volunteer with the South Carolina Railroad Museum. I've been helping the museum with onboard car hosting and narrating the train rides for the last 3 years and counting. The museum's had a great season, thanks to a marketing boost that saw a great turnout for several train rides during the second half of 2024. In addition to the jump in ridership, the museum's embarked on a massive capital campaign to repaint and restore their equipment. With special thanks to Mr. Jeff Connor of Railcar and Military Equipment Painting, several pieces of rolling stock got a great facelift in time for the Santa Claus trains. If you'd like to help the museum continue their mission to restore and operate their equipment, please visit www.scrm.org/donate. Every little bit helps. Looking ahead to 2025, the first big event that I plan on attending is Steam over Spencer. This show of Gauge 1 live steam trains was a blast when I first went 2 years prior, and I'm looking forward to returning and running my own Gauge 1 engine, Mimi, at the event. In terms of big trains, I've been eyeing the Woodstown Central and the Arcade Natica for visits, as their steam locomotives have been restored to operation. Down in Florida, the Sugar Express is another operation I'd like to hit up, but as always, we'll see if it's in the cards. Collaboration projects are something that I'd like to do more of in 2025, and I already have a few ideas in mind. Some of them might be videos on real-life trains and events, or model railroading projects. So please stay tuned to the channel for news regarding those videos. There's also a few models that I've bought that are due for a Railfan review soon, specifically the ones listed on screen. With all that said, my first ever State of the Channel address is pretty much done. Again, thanks to everyone who has subscribed and continues to watch my content. Hope you'll join me for another year of railroading adventures, and please remember to support your local tourist railroads and museums in any way you can. See you in the new year, and keep on steaming.